Peter McKinnon. Channel your man bun. No, it's great.
At least for us, groceries can be one of the biggest strains on our budget. So here are some tips on ways that we have found helpful to save money on groceries.
Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Michelle.
This is Thor.
And we're a millennial couple trying to live on one salary
And get out of debt
while still living a content lifestyle.
Join us in our journey as we live lux on less.
Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle, this is Ryan, and together we make Hey Olexa, a channel all about paying down debt while living on one salary and paying off the debt with the other.
We believe that the first step to living your dream life is financial literacy.
So let's hop into some tips. So it's really important to shop what you have first. Why? So that you don't come home with a pack of 10 of something that you already have. Once you shop what you have at your house, go ahead and make a list. Write it down, stick to that list, so again, you don't repeat the same mistake, buying too much of what you already have.
Another thing that you can do is to shop the discount stores, so stores like Aldi, or going to the clearance rack at Kroger, and you can find that you save a lot of money by doing that. And another tip is to go plant-based. So we're actually completely vegan, but even if you're just swapping out some of your beets for other things, for instance, say you're making tacos, you can do, instead of the ground beef, you can do black beans. Or maybe you're making, I don't know, a chicken soup, you can instead put in like tofu instead of the chicken, and you're gonna save a lot of money because meat is expensive.
Another thing you could do is instead of just doing canned beans, is really focus on dried beans. I will say there's a massive time constraint here, so if you are someone like us that is very busy, dried beans might not be the best option because it really does take a while to cook. However, if you have the time and you're up for the challenge, dried beans are a fantastic way to save money.
And not only with beans, but you can also shop for your nuts a little bit differently. And you can buy nuts in bulk by, say, going to Whole Foods, and you can shop the bulk bins, and you'll find you can get a lot more nuts for less price.
My favorite way to buy nuts, we are vegan as Ryan said, and my favorite way to get nuts is actually going to the baking section. So certain things we get in the bulk section, like our cashews, because we get them in pieces and we need them raw. Another thing would be if we want a recipe that calls for some form of a nut or a seed that we don't use very often, we go to the baking section and get like the smaller packages. It saves you money, and it also, there's less waste for us by doing it that way.
That's a good point too, we're eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly, we try to be.
One of the biggest difficulties I think about staying on a budget is that when you get to the grocery store, you don't actually know how much you're spending on everything, because who can add up all that stuff plus tax in their head? But one thing that we do to kind of alleviate this a little bit is by actually doing our shopping from the computer or from an app, so that you can actually see the total adding up as you go. The only caveat to this is that you do need to be careful that some places, especially those budget options, are going to charge you for that kind of order. But if it's something you're able to do, you can also find coupons that way, so because a lot of the time they put their coupons on the app.
Don't forget about frozen and canned goods. It's something that we use all of the time in our kitchen, in our diet. Frozen little packages make for an easier dinner, less, I'm not gonna say less mess, but just less chaos in the kitchen, and it makes it more convenient. As well as some of the canned options make it easier for things that you're gonna eat smaller portions of, or things that you just need to have on hand that are a quick grab and go. Some of our favorites are frozen stir-fry packages, starters, and then canned beets or artichokes.
Yeah, and that's going to save time and money, as well as making sure that you're cooking your leftovers. And so one thing that we do is we cook a little bit more food when we're making dinner, and then after we're finished eating dinner, we'll actually just get out like our lunch boxes for the next day, fill them up with leftovers, and then you're saving dishes, you're saving time, and you're saving money.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't forget to go ahead and stock up on those shelf-stable items too, you guys. Like, one thing that I love to do, so I hate going to the grocery store, is not my favorite chore, so I try to get as many things as I can while I'm there that fit into our budget. So beans, canned tomatoes, anything that's a staple for our kitchen, I go ahead, stock up on, so I don't have to get it later. Sometimes dried fruit, nuts, beans, things like that.
Last and certainly not least is to buy things that you're actually going to eat. Because a lot of the time there's the temptation when you're trying to be on a budget to like cut costs at all costs. But you can actually save money sometimes by spending a little bit more and just being realistic about what you're actually going to eat. Because what happens when you're going through your day, you've eaten the breakfast, you've eaten the lunch that you planned, and now you're hungry and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and so you're not even ready for, like, dinner's not for hours. And so you're like, you know what, I'm gonna just go to Starbucks and grab a pastry. But now you're spending like $5 on a pastry when you could have just bought a box of Pop-Tarts that's going to be $3 and it's going to last you like a week. But I think that about covers it. That's all the tips that we have for today. But if you guys have tips, we'd love to hear them in the comments. So please comment below. Let us know what you're doing to save money on your groceries, and let's all learn from each other.
Don't forget, you guys, the last budget saving tip we'll give you is to like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. It's super free for you, and it really helps us out. To everyone that helped us get to 100 subscribers, you know that our next step is to get to 1,000 subscribers. So we would really appreciate if you guys would like and subscribe to our channel.
And thank you guys so much for always watching our videos. We appreciate you a ton, and we feel like you are part of this community with us. You can also get the behind the scenes action at Hey Olexa on Instagram. But until next time, just remember to budget wisely
And compromise kindly.
See you guys.
Bye, you guys.
I've been looking for love so true. When I was down and out, along came you.
Bringing the magical coffee in.
Okay.